Welcome back to UMass Sports Weekly. Now joining me at the table to wrap up with a Boston sports coverage is Jess Levenson and Marc Louis. Guys, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Casey.
Now, I think it's pretty clear what the first topic we got to get into is. It's Tuesday. We're fresh off Monday Night Football, and we're fresh off a pretty terrible call against the Patriots for them to lose. Now, what happened in this game, and Jess, I think you'll give us a little bit better summary of what happened, but as a whole, I think what we saw was the Pats lose 24-20 on a final play. Not a final play, it was a penalty with time running out, so still would have been stuff to happen. But we're getting a lot of two sides of this argument. A lot of people saying it was a missed call, a lot of refs saying it was a good call. Why don't you just give us a little recap of the whole situation and what's going on in this controversy?
Well, Marc, why don't you take this one?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to give you like a little insight of what happened, we're going in towards like the final play of the game. Cam Newton just led the Panthers down the field, and with a 25-yard touchdown to Ted Ginn Jr., they take the lead 24-20 with 59 seconds to go. And so I'm thinking at this point, I've seen this movie before. Here comes Tom Brady. Let's see what he can do in this final drive to see win the game for the Patriots. And so at that point, 3 seconds left in the game, we get to the 18-yard line in Carolina. He throws a pass to the end zone intended for his favorite target, Rob Gronkowski. And before you know it, what we saw is that pass was intercepted in the end zone. So I'm thinking, at first I was thinking, I'm not sure about everybody else, but what I'm thinking right there was, oh, okay, we came so close, but we lost, game's over. But, flag comes in, and I'm thinking, oh my God, we have another chance over here. What's going to go on over here? And it's going to be defensive holding against Luke Kuechly that prevented Gronkowski from getting the ball. But then, I was like, nope, sorry, we lied about that. We're going to pick that flag, call it a day. It's over.
Yeah, it seems like that's where a lot of the problem is coming in. I mean, I think if they didn't make the call at all, then that'd be controversy. They should have made the call, but they didn't. Or they fall through with the call. They made the right call. But they threw the flag on the field and then picked it back up. I mean, that's something you don't see that often. And then the refs sprinted off the field and gave no explanation. Jess, what is the deal with that?
I don't see the refs taking a lot of responsibility for what they've done. The referee, Cleet Blackman, he did not offer an explanation right as he made the call when he was supposed to explain it to the fans. They were all confused. He didn't explain it to Bill Belichick or Tom Brady, didn't give a satisfactory explanation for his call. Then after the game, way after the fact, he got to explain himself, and he said the ball in essence was coming in underthrown, and in essence it was immediately at that point intercepted. So there was a determination that in essence, uncatchability. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but that's a lot of in essence going on. And if you're going to explain yourself, explain it firmly and with conviction that you made the right call, and it does not sound like they really believe that they were correct in their ruling.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like something they're defending the call. They're more defending the referees and trying to make them look like they didn't really make a terrible call, which they did, and it's getting exposed right now.
And it's been going on a lot in football and in every sport. Just the refs seem to be making a lot of mistakes.
Exactly, especially with the New England Patriots. This seems to be a recurring theme going on with the Patriots, going back to last season when they lost against Baltimore on a really close field goal call, and then a couple weeks ago against the Jets. And so I'm thinking, against the Panthers this week, it's like what I'm thinking is, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, they got the call wrong here. I'm trying to see it from the point of view of the officials. I watched that replay over and over and over, countless times, and I just can't see that viewpoint that the officials are having. They say that the ball was underthrown and that they deemed that the ball was uncatchable, but if you look at the replay, he had his head turned around as the ball was coming towards the end zone. And the distance he was away from the ball, there definitely is no doubt in my mind that he would have had enough time to turn around and try to go after the ball and make a play on it. But of course, we'll never know that because, we have Luke Kuechly that's got his arms wrapped around Rob Gronkowski like a 5-year-old child from a hurricane over here. And so absolutely, it's like, this is a call that, I think, really, if you're a Patriots fan, this is really devastating to handle right now.
Yeah, it does hurt. And like you said, it's probably a little bias kicking in, but it does feel like it really does pile up on the Patriots with that, especially like you mentioned, that Jets call earlier in the year where the Jets did the same exact thing in the same game and didn't get called for it. And not to mention, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything, but Vegas had Carolina -3. to win by 4 on a call like that, I'm going to say those guys had some money in it.
Sounds sketchy.
Going out on a limb saying they had some money in it. But, they'll bounce back. Still 7-3, still a solid record. We'll let Cam get his hype for now because he's talking about idolizing Tom Brady that whole time. Can't blame him. Well,
no bias here, folks.
No bias here, folks. This is completely objective reporting. All subjectivity goes out the window, as always. Well, moving on from that, we'll keep an eye on our Patriots as the season continues. Want to catch up on the Celtics. Haven't got a lot of time to talk about them this year. We've been focusing a lot more on our UMass basketball, which has been outstanding, as we just saw. But, Jess, why don't you catch us up on the Celtics a little bit?
So the Celtics right now, they're on a 3-game losing streak after a 4-game winning streak after a 3-game losing streak. So they seem to be pretty inconsistent so far. And tonight they're facing the Houston Rockets at 8 o'clock. And the Houston Rockets are playing pretty well. Dwight Howard hit his free throws last night. Jeremy Lin has been absolutely on fire. Linsanity 2.0. James Harden going through a nagging foot injury, but still putting up stats. I think it's going to be a really tough test tonight. I think a big matchup is Avery Bradley versus James Harden. If Bradley can shut him down, that'd be really helpful. And if somehow the bench can eliminate Jeremy Lin from getting buckets, that'd be great because Houston is a really high-scoring team. Need to play good defense, and they might win the game.
Now, Mark, I want to ask you. A lot of people have been weren't not the highest hopes for this Celtics team, no. And with one of the best draft classes the NBA's seen in a long time coming in, you got a lot of people talking. They want to see one of those draft picks. I would love to see one of those draft picks. My theory is our coach is too good for that to happen. I think they hired Brad Stevens a year too early, and he's just too good for this team. What do you think this team is going to do, with the season, basically?
Well, absolutely. Right now, with Rajon Rondo out until what was projected until mid-November, I look at this team right now, and without Rondo and under rookie head coach Brad Stevens, I see a team that's lacking a lot of identity and lacking a lot of leadership. Aside from Rajon Rondo, the casual fan, would you be able to name 2 Celtics on the team right now? Probably not. And so I think naturally as the season goes on, there's definitely going to face a lot of teams that they're going to struggle against. Indiana's in our conference, Miami, of course, and the Brooklyn Nets. They're struggling right now, but with the team that they have, they're eventually going to pick it up. I would definitely not suggest that the Celtics are tanking these games, but at best case scenario, the Celtics, they might finish with a 43-39 record, 8th seed in the conference, and then just get swept by Miami in the first round. And so I think naturally as the season goes on, we're just going to see what the Celtics can do only with Rajon Rondo and under a head coach, a rookie head coach. And, I think the Celtics will fall in the top 10 for this upcoming draft of 2004.
Got to be careful that they don't fall into that middle pack and end up in that draft limbo where you're just getting average draft picks that do nothing. That can stretch over a period of time. Not something we want to see with our championship Boston Celtics. Now to get over to our championship Boston Bruins. You can say that basically about all these teams. Bruins coming off a big win against Carolina last night, 4-1. The whole team played really good. Jess, why don't you catch us up on the Bruins a little bit as well?
So the Bruins are actually playing really well right now. They were in a bit of a funk earlier, but now they've won 5 of their past 6 games. And they're playing the Rangers tonight in MSG. And I don't think Rask is starting, but Chad Johnson is a decent backup. They have all their lines clicking. They have great secondary scoring. Lucic, Krejci, they're both on fire. I think it'll be lights out at MSG tonight, especially because the lights at MSG suck.
It is a dark place, old building, but hockey players love that kind of environment. Mark, what have you been seeing from this Bruins team? What do you think they'll do tonight against the Rangers?
Definitely going back to that last game against the Hurricanes, they got out to a really fast start. They scored 2 goals in the first period. And going back to the championship season 2010-2011, when the Bruins get out to a really hot start like that, they are 106-6 in those games when they get out to a 2-goal lead early like that. So, as a Bruins fan, absolutely, when your team gets out to a hot start like that, it's almost a guaranteed win. So I think a lot of fans are happy about that. But going into tonight's game against the Rangers, absolutely. Recently, we have when you have a face-off against the Bruins and the Rangers, we have had a lot of close games lately, and I think we're going to expect more of the same tonight. The Rangers, I mean, they're getting Rick Nash back from a 17-game concussion, so they're definitely going to look to him to provide some scoring off the bench for a fifth. He's not going to play a lot. They're not going to play a lot tonight. And of course, you still have goalie Henrik Lundqvist, and he's not having a great season to start off the season, a little bit of a slow start, but he's still one of the top goalies in the Eastern Conference.
Absolutely.
And so, aside record-wise, these two teams, they really match up evenly on paper. So if you're watching a game at home, I would not be surprised to expect a shootout victory for one of these two teams.
Yeah, always a fun matchup to watch, keeping that Boston-New York rivalry alive. Even though if it isn't as strong in hockey, still fun to watch. Guys, great stuff. Appreciate you joining me up here.
Thank you, Casey, you too.
Thank you.
And thank you at home for watching. As always, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Sports Weekly. Also, check us out on Facebook, UMass Sports Weekly. You can catch our segments and episodes there. And as always, we will see you next week, same time, same place.